Good day again, students, and a big hello to everyone watching around the Philippines. I am Teacher Mike, your technology and livelihood education teacher. In today's episode, we will define what software is and get more understanding of the different types of software. So bring out your pen and paper and join me as we build your knowledge towards a better future, one skill at a time. Welcome to TLE 9.
Let us study TLE. Let us study, come with me. All of the knowledge and all of the skills will help you to be life ready. Will help you to be life ready.
Students, do you still remember our previous episode where I discussed the hardware? If yes, good job. I even remember that I provided examples of the different types of hardware like the keyboard, mouse, monitor, or just about anything that you can touch in the computer system. Before we move on to our discussion, let's have a short activity called Guess the Logo.
Can you guess the names of these logos? Ready? Here's logo number 1. The answer is Android. Logo number 2. The answer is Google Chrome. Logo number 3. The answer is Apple. Logo number 4. The answer is Linux. And lastly, logo number 5. The answer is Microsoft.
Did you get them all correctly? If not, do not worry because as we go along with our discussion, we will go back to these logos and get an in-depth understanding of each one and more. Students, how do we define software?
Software is a set of instructions that enables the computer to do a specific task. It is a collection of computer programs and related data that instructs the computer what to do and how to do it.
It's like the soul that brings life to the hardware, and it's something that cannot be touched but can be seen. There are 3 types of software. We have the system software, programming language software, and the application software. Every day, we come across different computer software types that helps us with our tasks and increase our efficiency. Aside from the hardware, the software is also essential and we use it all the time. From MS Windows that greets us when we switch on the system to the web browsers that is used to surf the internet or the games that we play on our computer or even the calorie burn counter on our smartphone are all examples of software.
Let us first discuss the system software. System software aids the user and the hardware to function and interact with each other. Basically, it is the software that manages computer hardware behavior to provide basic functionalities that are required by the user.
In simple words, we can say that system software serves as a link or a middle layer between the user and the hardware.
This is the reason why system software is very important in managing the entire computer system. When you first turn on the computer, the system software gets initialized and gets loaded into the system's memory.
Under the system software, there are 5 types: the operating system, device drivers, firmware, programming language translators, and utility software.
The operating system is the most important software that runs on a computer. It manages the computer's memory and processes as well as all of its software and hardware. Whether a desktop, laptop, or mobile phone, every device requires an operating system to provide the basic functionality to it. Examples of the operating system are Android, CentOS, iOS, Linux, Mac OS, MS Windows, Ubuntu, and Unix.
In our next episode, we will be focusing on the features and different types of the operating system, so you better wait for that.
Next, we have the device drivers. This is a type of software that controls particular hardware that is attached to the system. Hardware devices that need drivers to connect to a system include displays, sound cards, printers, mouse, and hard disks. Some examples are BIOS driver, display drivers, motherboard drivers, printer drivers, ROM drivers, sound card drivers, USB drivers, VGA drivers, and virtual device drivers. Next, we have the firmware. It is the permanent software that is embedded into a read-only memory. It is a set of instructions permanently stored on a hardware device. It provides essential information regarding how the device interacts with other hardware. Some examples are the basic input-output system, computer peripherals, consumer applications, embedded system, and the UEFI, which is expected to replace the traditional BIOS. Next is the programming language translators. These are intermediate programs that software programmers rely on to translate high-level language source code into machine language codes. The former is a collection of the programming languages that are easy for humans to comprehend and code. Some basic examples are the Java, C++, Python, PHP, and BASIC. Besides simplifying the work of software developers, translators help in various design tasks. These are: identify a syntax error during translation, thus allowing changes to be made to the code; provide diagnostic reports whenever the code rules are not followed; allocate data storage for the program; and list both source code and program details. And lastly, we have the utility software. This is designed to aid in analyzing, optimizing, configuring, and maintaining a computer system. It supports the computer infrastructure. This software focuses on how an operating system functions, and then accordingly it decides its trajectory to smoothen the functioning of the system. Software like antiviruses, disk cleanup, and management tools, compression tools, and defragmenters are examples of utility tools.
Let us now move on to the other type of software, and that is the application software.
Application software is a computer program that performs a specific personal, educational, and business function. Each program is designed to assist the user with a particular process which may be related to productivity, creativity, and communication. Unlike system software, they are used by the end user and are specific in their functionality or task and do the job they are designed to do.
The difference between system software and application software is the difference in the user interface. There is no user interface present in the system software, whereas in application software, the user interface is present for each software to efficiently use the software.
The user cannot see the system software like an operating system and cannot work in system software, but in an application software, users can see the application software using a graphical user interface and can also work in the application software. The user also has an option to create its user-written software and use the software for its personal use. So what are the functions of application software? Application software programs are created to facilitate a variety of functions, including but not limited to managing information, manipulating data, constructing visuals, coordinating resources, and calculating figures.
Similar to the type of system software, application software also has its type. They are word processors, database software, multimedia software, education and reference software, graphics software, and web browsers.
Word processors are applications for documentation. Along with that, it also helps in storing, formatting, and printing these documents. Some examples of word processors are Abby Word, Apple iWork, Corel WordPerfect, Google Docs, and Microsoft Word. Database software is used to create and manage a database. It is also known as a database management system or DBMS. They help with the organization of data, and some examples of DBMS are Clipper, DBase, FileMaker, Fox Pro, MS Access, and MySQL. Multimedia software is a type of software that can play, create, or record images, audio, or video files. They are used for video editing, animation, graphics, and image editing. Some examples of multimedia software are Adobe Photoshop, Inkscape, MediaMonkey, Picasa, VLC Media Player, Windows Media Player, and Windows Movie Maker. Education and reference software. These are software types that are specifically designed to facilitate learning on a particular subject. There are various kinds of tutorial software that fall under this category. They are also termed as an academic software. Some examples are Delta Drawing, G-Compress, Jumpstart Titles, KidPix, MindPlay, and TuxPaint. Graphics software has been devised to work with graphics as it helps the user edit or make changes in visual data or images. It comprises picture editors and illustration software. Some examples are Adobe Photoshop, Autodesk Maya, Blender, Carrara, CorelDRAW, GIMP, Modo, and PaintShop Pro. Web browser applications are used to browse the internet. They help the user in locating and retrieving data across the web. Some examples of web browsers are Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox, Opera, Safari, and UC Browser.
Other than this, all the software that serves a specific purpose falls under application software. However, there exists one more classification of the software. The software can also be classified based on their availability and shareability.
First, we have the freeware. Freeware software is available without any cost. Any user can download it from the internet and use it without paying any fees. However, freeware does not provide any liberty for modifying the software or charge a fee for its distribution. Examples are Adobe Reader, Audacity, ImageBurn, Skype, TeamViewer. Number 2, we have the shareware. It is a software that is freely distributed to users on a trial basis. It usually comes with a time limit, and when the time limit expires, the user is asked to pay for the continued service. Some examples of sharewares are Adobe Acrobat, PHP Debugger, and WinZip. Number 3, open source. This kind of software are available to users with a source code, which means that a user can freely distribute and modify the software and add additional features to the software. Open source software can either be free or chargeable. Some examples of open source software are WordPress, Moodle, Mozilla Firefox, and Thunderbird. And lastly, we have the closed source software. This type of applications are usually paid and have an intellectual property rights or patents over the source code. The use of this is very restricted, and usually the source code is preserved and kept as a secret. Some examples are Skype, Google Earth, Microsoft Office, and McAfee antivirus software.
And the last type of software that we have is the programming language software. The programming language is the third category of computer software used by the programmers to write their programs, scripts, and instructions that a computer can execute.
The programming language can be considered as a brick that can be used to construct computer programs and operating systems. Examples of programming languages are Java, C++, HTML, and much more.
If you are into programming, what do you think are the most widely used programming languages of today? Here are your top 3 programming languages that you may be interested in or start learning.
First, we have Java. This is the workhorse of programming. With the philosophy "write once, work anywhere," this is a general-purpose programming language and is very popular with businesses looking to make sure their applications have a consistent user experience. Java programs should run over a network without it mattering what operating system the user is running. Java is also an official language used for developing Android apps and also used for games and web pages. If you want to make your website more interactive, you use a JavaScript. Along with the HTML and CSS, JavaScript is essential to the front-end web development. A majority of the web's most popular sites, from Facebook and Twitter to Gmail and YouTube, rely on JavaScript to create interactive web pages and dynamically display content to the users. Because JavaScript has a forgiving, flexible syntax and works across all major browsers, it is one of the friendliest programming languages for beginners. Lastly, we have the Python. Considered as the most versatile of the top programming languages of 2020, Python undoubtedly tops the list. It is widely accepted as the best programming language to learn first. Python is a fast, easy to use, and easy to deploy programming language that is being widely used to develop scalable web applications. YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, SurveyMonkey are all built in Python.
Students, now that we discussed the different types of software, it's time to have a short review. You have 3 seconds to answer the following. Are you ready? Let's start.
Here is number 1. True or false? Is DK Mobile Legends an example of software? The answer is true. In fact, Mobile Legend is an example of an application software. Number 2. Android and iOS are examples of what type of software? The correct answer is system software. Number 3. What type of software are C++ and Java? The correct answer is programming language software. Number 4. Which are examples of application programs? The correct answer is all of the above. Number 5. Which of the following is a system software? The correct answer is Mac OS. Number 6. A type of software where you can play, create, or record images, audio, or video files. The correct answer is multimedia software. Number 7. Which of the following is not an example of web browsers? The correct answer is Android. Number 8. A type of software that is freely distributed to users on a trial basis. Once the limit expires, the users are asked to pay for the continued service. The correct answer is shareware. Number 9. Let's have an analogy. Select the related word from the given alternatives. If iOS is to Apple, then Android is to? The correct answer is Google. Number 10. If application software is to MS Word, then programming language software is to? The correct answer is Python.
Students, how many scores did you get? I am sure you got high scores in this activity. And because of that, good job and congratulations! We all know that artificial intelligence is one of the most important technologies that we have up to date. It somehow simulates the human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions.
For example, in your mobile phones, if you are using Android phones, you have Google Assistant. If you are using an iOS phone, you have Siri.
So, my question for you today is, will artificial intelligence bring us more benefits or create more problems? Can artificial intelligence bring better forms of society and lifestyles, improve sustainability, solve pressing world problems, speed up science and technological developments to a more positive direction, or is it the other way around?
Post it on your social media or our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/TLE with Teacher Mike. You can post a video or just a message along with your name and your school, but do not forget to use the hashtag TLE with Teacher Mike at the end of your post.
Well, we have now reached the end part of our episode. I hope that you were able to learn a lot about the different types of software. Once again, I'm Teacher Mike, your grade 9 TLE teacher, and here's a reminder for you. Just because the past didn't turn out as you wanted it to, does not mean your future can be better than you've ever imagined. So don't lose hope and always strive to be at your best. Thank you for watching DepEd TV, and I'll see you next time.